I'm the person who saw the cracks first, not you. You were too busy loving them the way people dream of being loved, softly, faithfully, without keeping score. You loved them in the small places. The way you remembered what they hated in their coffee. The way you asked if they made it home safe. The way you offered comfort before you offered advice. You loved them like they were worth choosing every single day. And that's exactly why this is going to hurt. Because the truth is, they didn't deserve you, and they knew it. I know that sounds dramatic. I know. People say that all the time when they're trying to sound poetic. But this was different. This was a person who woke up beside something real and spent their days hiding from it like it was a threat. The first time I realized something was wrong, it wasn't because of a fight or a message or a rumor. It was because of their silence. There's a certain kind of silence that isn't peaceful. It's careful, strategic, like a locked door pretending to be an open hallway. They would smile at you, hold your hand, kiss your forehead, and still look like someone trying not to be found. And one night, when you weren't around, they said something that made my stomach drop. Not your name, not love, not commitment. They said, "I can't keep doing this." And when I asked what they meant, they didn't say, "I'm tired," or "I'm scared," or "I'm overwhelmed." They said, "They don't deserve me. I'm a hypocrite." You would have thought that meant guilt for a mistake maybe. Something small, something fixable. But it wasn't small. It was the kind of truth people bury so deep they start believing the lie themselves. The next part is where it gets ugly. They admitted out loud, without the romance, without the filters, that they had been hiding their real preferences in women. Not just a type, not just, "I like this sometimes," but an entire inner world they kept separate from you, like a double life made of fantasies, comparisons, secret cravings, and a hunger for attention that never stayed full. They said they loved you. Then they said, "But I'm not honest about what I'm drawn to." And the way they said it wasn't even brave. It was panicked, like the truth was chasing them, like it had teeth. You need to understand something. This wasn't about you lacking anything. This wasn't about you not being enough. You were enough in every human way. This was about them being empty in the place where loyalty is supposed to live. They confessed they'd been feeding parts of themselves you never met. Parts that were greedy, impulsive, and obsessed with validation. They said they'd scroll and stare and compare and fantasize until your real love felt too quiet to their addiction for excitement. They built a private world where women weren't people. They were options, mirrors, trophies, fantasies, escape routes. And then, this is the part that still makes me angry. They kept coming back to you for warmth like you were a home they didn't respect. They would take your comfort like medicine, then go back to poisoning themselves with the very things that made them feel unworthy. That's why they were cold sometimes. That's why they picked petty disagreements. That's why tiny travel plans turned into emotional storms. It wasn't because you did something wrong. It was because guilt makes cowards act like victims. They couldn't hold the weight of your love, so they tried to make it look lighter by acting like it was flawed. And you, because you have a heart, kept trying to fix a problem that wasn't yours. I saw you do it. You apologized first, even when you were the one hurt. You tried to speak softer when they were the one yelling. You tried to understand when they were the one hiding. You thought if you loved them better, they would become better. But people don't become better because they're loved. They become better when they stop lying to themselves. And that's what they couldn't do. So they performed remorse like a play. If you're reading this and you're still here, still feeling every sentence like it's sitting on your chest, I want you to pause for a second and breathe. And if you need a sign to keep going, to hear the whole truth, give yourself one. Type TRIP1 somewhere private, in your notes, in your mind, just to say, I'm still here. I'm still listening. I can handle the truth. Because the truth continues. They didn't only hide desires. They hid resentment. They resented how pure you were, how you didn't play games, how you didn't weaponize affection, how you didn't make them earn love through suffering. You gave it freely, and that exposed them. It made them feel small, and instead of becoming bigger, they tried to shrink you. They would act distant, then blame you for feeling lonely. They would flirt with attention, then blame you for being insecure. They would deny obvious things, then call you dramatic for noticing. That's not love. That's control dressed as confusion. They told me they'd seen you cry. They admitted they'd watched tears fill your eyes, the silent kind that aren't loud enough to win arguments, but loud enough to haunt a decent person. And they still didn't change. Because here's another third-party truth that no one says enough. Some people don't change when they see your pain. They change when they fear losing your benefits. And yes, benefits. Your loyalty, your softness, your forgiveness, your willingness to stay and repair what you didn't break. They were addicted to the safety you gave them. But they were also addicted to the thrill of wanting more. That's why they kept splitting themselves in two. The partner you deserved and the person they secretly were when you weren't watching. Eventually they reached the edge of a cliff, where lies can't stretch any further without snapping. That's when they decided to do something that looks romantic on the surface, but is actually a last-minute attempt to control the story. A confession. A dramatic, emotional confession. But here's what you should know about confessions like this. Sometimes they're not meant to free you. Sometimes they're meant to absolve the liar. They want to feel like a good person for finally telling you the truth without actually becoming the kind of person who deserves what truth costs. So they rehearsed remorse. They imagined tears. They imagined your reaction. They imagined you forgiving them and calling it growth. And yes, part of them really does feel guilty. But guilt alone doesn't equal change. Guilt is just pain. Change is action. And action is what they avoided. If you've ever wondered why their apologies felt heavy but your heart still felt unsafe, this is why. Because an apology that doesn't come with honesty is just another lie with softer words. Now I'm going to say something that might sound cruel, but it's the cleanest truth I can give you. They wanted you to stay because you made them feel redeemed without requiring them to transform. You were their proof that they weren't that bad. But you don't exist to prove someone else is lovable while they keep treating love like a disposable thing. If you're still listening, still holding your heart in both hands, let this part land. You didn't lose because you weren't enough. You almost lost because you were too willing to carry what wasn't yours. And yes, there's more. Because there was a second layer to their secret, the layer that makes this preference confession so devastating. They weren't just attracted to other women. Attraction happens. People are human. The terrible truth was that they were chasing a version of womanhood they could control, women they could idealize from a distance, consume without responsibility, desire without accountability. The fantasy was safer than reality because reality asks you to show up. And you, real, present, loving, asked them to show up. That terrified them. So instead of meeting you where you were, they ran to fantasies and distractions where they didn't have to be brave. And every time they returned to you, they returned with less integrity than before. That's why the relationship felt like it was slowly leaking. Not because love was missing, because honesty was. Now, if you are the person being confessed to, and this message is hitting you like a storm, I want you to remember something important. You don't have to forgive to prove you're kind. You don't have to stay to prove you're loyal. You don't have to shrink your standards to make someone else comfortable. You're allowed to choose yourself without apologizing. And if you do choose to forgive, it should be because you see consistent, undeniable change, not because someone cried at the right time with the right words. If you need another anchor, another moment where you tell the universe, I'm not going to abandon myself, type TRIPLE3. Again, anywhere, even silently. It's not for anyone else. It's for you. Now, the last thing they tried to do was spiritualize their confession. They wanted to turn pain into a performance, like a prayer could replace accountability. But I will give you something better than performance. I will give you a prayer that isn't about excusing them. It's about restoring you. Repeat it slowly, even if your voice shakes. Divine strength, return me to myself. Let truth be louder than my fear. Let clarity be stronger than my longing. I release the need to fix what I didn't break. I release the habit of earning love through endurance. I call back my peace, my confidence, my dignity. If someone cannot honor me, let them lose access to me. If someone cannot choose honesty, let them face the consequences. And if I am tempted to settle, remind me, I am not desperate, I am worthy. I am allowed to be loved correctly. I am allowed to leave what harms me. I am allowed to begin again. Amen. And if you want to seal that, not for a channel, not for a video, not for anyone's applause, but for your own heart, type 909. Finally, here is the sharpest truth reveal of all, the one they couldn't say cleanly. They didn't confess because you were finally worthy of the truth. They confessed because the lie was starting to choke them. And you, beautifully, painfully, were still loving them like the lie wasn't killing you too. So this message ends where your life begins. You are not a rehabilitation center for someone's broken loyalty. You are not a stage for someone's emotional redemption arc. You are a person, a whole one. And the love you gave, it wasn't wasted. It proved you can love deeply. Now let it also prove you can choose wisely. If you want, I can rewrite this into a version that's